afternoon, good night, wherever you may be in the world. Thank you for joining me for another edition of the Truth Conductor Show. Saturday in Proverbs. That's what we do on Saturday. No, I'm not a Jehovah Witness or a Seventh-day Adventist. I just follow my calendar. My calendar goes from Sunday to Saturday. So I honor Saturday as the Sabbath day. Okay? The Bible saying honor the Sabbath day and keep it holy, which means you don't go out and wash your car and do your laundry and do your grocery shopping and all of that stuff. All right? You're supposed to rest on the Sabbath day. And that's what I try to do. Get up in here, man, and get some rest. Um, we do Saturday in Proverbs. Proverbs is written by King Solomon. King Solomon is the wisest man ever, and no man will be as wise. And I think there is something that you can learn from the wisest man ever. So let's pray and get into the word. Father, thank you for another day together around your word. Speak through my mind, speak through my lips, and speak through my heart so that I can precisely articulate this word to pierce the hearing of your children so that we may live the righteous lifestyle that you have ordained for us to live. And you know, I like to give definition of words because I don't want to take it for granted that people know what certain words mean. And let me give you this definition of righteous. Righteous, of a person or conduct morally right or justifiable, virtuous. Okay? It's not saying that you are perfect when you live a righteous lifestyle. See, the enemy has the body of Christ believing that righteous to live a righteous lifestyle. What's going on, Danny? Thank you for joining me, brother. Thank you. Thank you for joining me, man. Thank you. Um, see, the enemy has the body of Christ back on its heel because it's trying to portray righteous as perfect. Righteous is not perfect, but it's not harmful when you live a righteous lifestyle. You're not harmful. You ain't gonna lie to nobody. You ain't gonna cheat. You ain't gonna steal. You ain't gonna deceive. You ain't gonna backbite, backstab when you live a righteous lifestyle. Okay? So, there are 31 chapters in Proverbs, and it's easy. Whatever the day of the date is, that's the chapter you start. And when there are not 31 days in the month, just keep reading so that the next day you'll be caught up to where you're supposed to be. All right? So since today is the 23rd, we're going to start on the 23rd chapter of Proverbs. Verse 1. When you sit down to eat with a ruler, consider carefully what is before you, and put a knife to your throat if you're a man given to appetite. See, that's a warning, man, that when you get around influential people and you think that you're in and you're accepted, the Bible is saying, be careful. Matter of fact, let me read this in the Message Bible. Hold on. Let me finish doing this. Let me start at verse 1. When you sit down with a ruler, to eat with a ruler, consider carefully what is before you, and put a knife to your throat if you are a man given to appetite. Do not desire his delicacies, for they are deceptive food. This is what it says in the Message Bible. When you go out to dinner with an influential person, mind your manners. Don't gobble your food. Don't talk with your mouth full. And don't stuff yourself, bridle your appetite. And see, you got some people that when they get in that position, man, they want everything. And that's when you need to be on your best behavior. Verse 4. Do not overwork to be rich, because of your own understanding cease. Verse 5. Will you set your eyes on that which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wing. They fly away like an eagle toward heaven. Okay? Verse 6. Do not eat the bread of a miser, nor desire his delicacies. Let's look up that word miser. Miser, a person who hoards wealth and spends as little money as possible. Miser, a person who hoards wealth and spends as little money as possible. And it says, do not eat the bread of a miser, nor desire his delicacies. Verse 7, for as he thinks in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, he says to you, but his heart is not with you. Man, you ever been around somebody that took you out and told you to enjoy yourself, and then when you did enjoy yourself, they talked about how greedy you were behind your back? They talked about how you. Matter of fact, let me read that. Let me read that in the Message Bible. Do not accept a meal from a tightwad. Don't expect anything special. He'll be as stingy with you as he is with himself. He'll say, eat, drink, but won't mean a word of it. His miserly serving will turn your stomach when you realize the meal's a sham. See, they'll tell you, oh, I got you. You know, that I'll take care of you. And knowing full well and expecting you to say no. But when you say yes, they get upset. Verse 8. The morsel you have eaten, you will vomit up and waste your pleasant words. Verse 9. Do not speak in the hearing of a fool, for he will despise the wisdom of your words. Listen to this. Verse 9. Do not speak in the hearing of a fool, for he will despise the wisdom of your words. That's the person that's going to tell you, oh, you think you're better than somebody else. When you say something that's beneficial and trying to help you, they will put you down. Because you done told them something that they don't want to accept, that they don't want to hear. You know, and how many times, man, have you tried to help a person and they turn around and tell you, you think you are better than them because of what you're saying? That's what that means. Verse 10. Do not remove the ancient landmark, nor enter the fields of the fatherless. Verse 11. For their Redeemer is mighty. He will plead their cause against you. Let me read that in the Message Bible. Don't stealthily move back the boundary lines or cheat orphans out of their property, for they have a powerful advocate who will go to bat for them. See, this is taking advantage of an ignorant person because they don't know no better. That's when it says, do not remove the ancient landmarks, nor enter the field of the fatherless. Man, you're taking advantage of somebody. That's what you're doing. You're taking advantage. And how many people, man, because somebody don't know no better, will lowball them because they don't know no better. They don't know what they got. I got that situation right now. My family, my mother and her two sisters had some property down in Huntsville. And the people trying to lowball the family to get the property. Well, the man called me and said, first of all, he insulted my mama when he called and said, I'm looking for Don Folden. Are you Zephrine's son? That's what he asked. Are you Zephrine's son? I said, who's calling? And when he told me what it was, I said, man, I ain't interested in selling. I'm not interested. You know, have you seen? Well, it must be important. You trying to buy it, but yet you gonna come and give me a low ball. You gonna tell me how invaluable the property is, and I'm supposed to believe that. Okay, verse 12. Apply your heart to instruction, and your ears to words of knowledge. Verse 13. Do not withhold correction from a child, for if you beat him with a rod, he will not die. And this is one of the things that is wrong, especially in the black community right now. We don't discipline our children. Matter of fact, in the black community, most parents are scared of their children. And that's why they're out of control. That's why we got the crime situation we got in our community because of a lack of discipline. About our own children are holding us hostage with crime in our own neighborhood. We can't blame the white man for that. We're the ones that have dropped the ball on discipline of our children. Okay? Verse 14. You shall beat him with a rod and deliver his soul from hell. You know, there are some kids that resented the discipline of their parents when they was growing up, thought their parents were the meanest people in the world by the way of their discipline. And then when they get old and they start looking back, see, because hindsight is 2020. Let me say that again. Okay, Luna, what's going on? Thank you for joining me. Hindsight is 2020. What does that mean? That means when you go through some stuff, you can look back at it and see what you did right or wrong. Okay? When they tell you hindsight is 2020, that's because when you go through some stuff, you can look back at it and see what you should or should not have done. That's why hindsight is 2020. Now, when you in it, you can't use hindsight. You have to come out of it to be able to look back at it. When you in it, you can't look back because you're in the moment. This is something that you have to come out of. And look, and you got some kids right now that big dog. Well, I'm cause I'm hiding my teeth, man. I got some effed up teeth. That's all. I'm hiding something, brother. Okay? The Bible says a prudent man will hide his shame. So I'm just hiding some shame right now. That's all. Ain't got nothing to do with COVID. Okay? I'm hiding some shame. All right? And welcome, because this got to be your first time, because most of the people that know, they know what the deal is. So welcome, man. It's your first time. Thank you for joining me. All right? But as I was saying, you got some kids, man, that when their parents was raising them, thought that they were the meanest people in the world. And now that they've grown older and can look back at that discipline, see, now they can respect and appreciate what their parents were trying to tell and what their parents were trying to do. But at the time, they didn't want to accept it. See, at the time, they rebelled. But as they grew older and started looking back at it, then, no, I don't have to stop hiding. I don't have to stop. I don't have to stop. No, I don't. No, I don't have to stop hiding. Hey, Queen Lindsay, thank you for joining me. Okay? See, listen. Now, if I was a liar, a cheater and a deceiver, and I was hiding that, then you're right. Okay? Yeah, God made me in his image. Let me show you. Let me show you that verse. Let me show you that. Let me show you that so you can get let me show you that verse. It's in Proverbs. Let's see. Proverbs 12:16. Listen to this. This is Proverbs 12:16. A fool's wrath is known at once, but a prudent man covers shame. What's a prudent? Let's look up that word prudent. Okay? Prudent. Acting with or showing care and thought for the future. See, y'all sitting here talking about but there are plenty of people out here that will take that look and try to embarrass me. I've had it happen. Okay? All right? I've had it happen that somebody would take something and say, "Oh, it's see, like I get a sponsor for my sign here," and see, and because I don't think I should, they're gonna take that look and try to derail something that coming down the road. So no, man, don't. And besides, see, I'm gonna tell y'all something. When my fortune comes, because my fame is already here. Fame and fortune are not the same. When my fortune comes and I'm in public, me and my wife, Tanya, thank you for joining me. No, somebody need this education. Listen, Bernie, what's going on, Bernie? Thank you for joining me. Listen, let me tell you something. When my fortune comes and me and my wife are out in public, we both gonna be wearing this. Why? Because we can have a conversation and not worry about somebody trying to read our lips. When I discovered this, I said, man, that's a good idea, because how many times you see celebrities having to talk like this? You know, athletes, when they trying to talk, they got to cover their mouth. No, you got one of these on, you ain't got to do this. We can be having one of the most intimate conversations in public and nobody will know what we talking about. See, that's what, see, you got to be thinking, man, because ideas are always gonna come to you. And this is just to cover you'll see this again. You will see this again. I'm telling you. Let me get my hands on some money. You're gonna see this again. You're gonna see it again. Okay? All right. Let's get back to the word. Verse 13. Do not withhold correction from a child, for if you beat him with a rod, he will not die. Verse 14, you shall beat him with a rod and deliver his soul from hell. Verse 15, my son, if your heart is wise, my heart will rejoice indeed, I myself. 16, yes, my inmost being will rejoice when your lips speak right things. Man, when your lips are speaking right things, uh, you're walking in your righteousness. Luna, a mask is unhealthy when you got it over your nose. It's unhealthy because you're breathing it. I don't have it over my nose. I have it over my mouth, so that's not unhealthy. Okay? All right. Verse 17. Do not let your heart envy sinners, but be zealous for the fear of the Lord all day long. Man, how many times, I don't have excuse. I don't have, and see, and what you're working on is getting blocked, Luna. Okay? And I'm asking you nicely, don't bring that negative energy up in here. Okay? All right? Because if you say one more thing sideways out your mouth, I'm going to block you. And that's your last warning. That is your last warning. So don't bring that negative energy up in here. I don't appreciate it. Okay, matter of fact, why don't you just go on and leave? If you ain't happy, leave. Just go on and leave, because I will block you. And I'm feeling like it anyway. Okay? No, you ain't. If you're trying to learn, sit there and shut up. If you're trying to learn, shut up. That's all you got to do. Shut up. And one more comment out of you, you blocked. One more comment, you're blocked. And try me. Okay? Try me. Try me. And I'm not joking. Now, see, and got me all off my thing, man. Okay. My son, if your heart is wise, my heart will rejoice indeed, I myself. Yes, my inmost being will rejoice when your lips speak right things. Man, when your lips speak right things, you're walking in your righteousness. When your lips speak right things, you're walking in your righteousness. Okay? Because you ain't deceptive, you're not dishonest, you ain't gonna cheat, you're gonna be fair. When you honest and you speak right thing, you fair with people. Verse 17. Do not let your heart envy sinners, but be zealous for the fear of the Lord. See, sometimes, man, you'll have believers looking at what sinners done accumulated, what they got, and you don't know how they got it. But all you see is the manifestation of some stuff you want. And it says, do not let your heart. Matter of fact, let me look up that word envy. Let me look up that word envy so you can be. So envy. A feeling of discontent or resentful longing aroused by someone else's possessions, qualities, or luck. A feeling of discontented or resentful longing aroused by someone else's possessions, quality, or luck. And it says, do not let your heart envy sinners because of what it appears that they have. Don't worry about that, man. Don't get caught up in that. But be zealous for the fear of the Lord all the day. For surely there's a hereafter, and your hope will not be cut off. See, you got a lot of people right now that are selling their souls just to enjoy some materialism here on earth. Look at a lot of these rappers, man, male and female. All they selling is sex, death, and drugs. But they got the big car and they got the house. They flying private. But they got to sell sex, death, and drugs. Okay, that drug lifestyle. That's what they selling. The women got to bust it open on stage. Got to come out half naked to enjoy these things. Don't be envious of them. Don't want to be with them, because look at what they got to do to get it. Verse 19, hear my son and be wise, and guide your heart in the way. Verse 20, do not mix with wine bibbers or with gluttonous eaters of meat. For the drunkard and the glutton will come to poverty, and drowsiness will clothe a man with rags. When you see a drowsiness, that's lazy. That's a lazy person. Say, and drowsiness will clothe a man with rags. Matter of fact, let me read to you in the Message Bible. Oh, listen, dear child, become wise. Point your life in the right direction. Don't drink too much wine and get drunk. Don't eat too much food and get fat. Drunks and gluttons will end up on Skid Row in a stupor and dressed in rags. And the majority of the homeless people that you see right now, I didn't say all, but the majority of them are dressed in rags. You can smell them before they get to you. You ever know? See, anybody that's been homeless for a minute, after a while, you get that smell in your clothes. You know, I don't care how, if you ain't bathing your body, you gonna get that smell in your clothes. Okay? And you can look good, but you're gonna develop that smell. When you don't take a bath for X amount of days, man, your clothes gonna develop a smell. Okay? And you can smell that stench. You can smell the stench along with other people. Verse 32. Listen to your father who begot you, and do not despise your mother when she is old. Verse 23. Buy the truth and do not sell it. Also wisdom and instruction and understanding. Listen, buy the truth and do not sell it. Also wisdom, which is knowledge, instruction, how to apply it, and understanding what it means. Verse 24. The father of the righteous will greatly rejoice, and he who begets a wise child will delight in him. Verse 25. Let your father and your mother be glad, and let her who bore you rejoice. Verse 26. My son, give me your heart, and let your eyes observe my ways. Why would you give God your heart? Because he say the desires of the heart is what will be granted to you. And if he don't have your heart, how is he gonna bless you when you out doing any and everything you want to do? And you only come to him when you in need and when you want something. But when life is going good, when you're doing good, God is the last thing that's on your mind. And you got some people right now, man, they ain't even thinking about God, but let trouble come on them. And the first place they want to run to is God. But when they was doing good, they didn't even pay God any attention. You got some Christians like that right now. As long as life is going good, man, they ain't praying. They ain't thanking God. They enjoying life. But the minute they hit some adversity, the first thing they want to do is fall on their knees and start talking to God like he gonna be there to listen to them. But when you was going good, you didn't have time for him. All right? Listen, my son, give me your heart and let your eyes observe my ways. Verse 27, for a harlot is a deep pit, and a seductress is a narrow well. Man, let me look up that word harlot. Harlot, a prostitute, is a harlot. A prostitute. Let me look up this word seductress. Seductress. A woman who seduces someone, especially one who entices men into sexual activity. And you know what? Look at some of these female rappers. Sexy Red comes out right now. Openly brag about the fact that she'll have sex with men for money. That's a seductress. Somebody that don't have no intentions of being in no real. Matter of fact, let me read the Message Bible. A whore is a bottomless pit. A loose woman can get you in deep trouble fast. She'll take you for all you got. She's worse than a pack of thieves. Let me read this. This is coming out of the Message Bible, okay? I'm not saying it. A whore is a bottomless pit. A loose woman can get you in deep trouble fast. She'll take you for all you got. She's worse than a pack of thieves. Man, look at a lot of these athletes get caught up with these loose women that's coming out specifically to have sex with them to get pregnant, because to them, that's a paycheck. That's a loose woman, okay? That go out here and purposely get involved with these athletes and these rich men just so they can get a check for child support, okay? She also lies in wait as for a victim and increases the unfaithful among men. Verse 29, who has woe? Who has sorrow? Who has contentions? Who has complaints? Who has wounds without cause? Who has redness of eyes? Here's the answer. those who linger long at the wine, those who go in search of the mixed wine. Listen, you ever talk to a person, an alcoholic? Everything they got an excuse for everything they do. That's why they drinking. They done got an excuse for why they gotta have another drink. For why they in the condition that they in. It's always somebody else's fault. And never theirs. They take no responsibility for the situation that they in, but they use that as an excuse to further deteriorate into the things that they're doing. That's who that is. Okay? Verse 31. Do not look on the wine when it is red, when it sparkles in the cup, when it swirls around smoothly. How many times some of your friends, oh man, come on, take a little sip. One sip ain't gonna hurt you. You know, how many times that's done happen? When you got your friends that say, oh man, come on, what's wrong with you? Stop being square. Loosen up. Take a little sip. Not knowing that your system can't handle that. See, because you can develop an addiction just like that. Whereas somebody else might have a stronger willpower, but yours could be weak, and just like that. Okay? Verse 32. At last, it bites like a serpent and stings like a viper. Your eyes will see strange things, and your heart will utter perverse things. Man, see, that's why when you get drunk. See, when people turn around and get drunk, all kind of thoughts start coming to your mind. See, you ain't got no control over your tongue when you're drunk. You'll say any and everything, and not aware of how offensive it might be. Because you're drunk. And you saying any and everything will come up. What comes up, gonna come out. Verse 34. Yes, you will be like one who lies down in the midst of the sea, or like one who lies on the top of the mast, saying, verse 35, they have struck me, but I was not hurt. They have beaten me, but I did not feel it. When shall I wait that I will seek yet another drink? And that's how a lot of people have destroyed their lives with alcoholism. Because they had an experience, they chasing something elusive. You know, like that first high. They still chasing that first high and they never get it. But they still back chasing that first high. A lot of drug addicts are junkies right now because they still chasing that first high. They still trying to get that feeling that they first got when they first tried it, and they never get it. And consequently, they'll try any and everything to get their first high. All right? Y'all, that's the end of Proverbs. Thank you for joining me. Okay? Enjoy your Saturday. See you later.